Hello Sim Racers and welcome to Pit Lane Sim Racing and today's Battle of the Sims video. We have RaceRoom and iRacing going head to head as we see which sim has the best version of the BMW M4 GT4. Who will be first across the line? You're just going to have to watch the video to find out. But before we hit the track, a quick rundown of the sim gear I'm going to be using. For the wheel, it's an AccuForce direct drive base, and for the pedals we got the Fanatic V3s with a load cell brake. Right, let's get this German spec GT4 racer out on the track. Vorsprung durch Technik, as they say. Wrong brand, never mind. Roll VT. Okay, here we are out on track. In case you missed the intro, we are of course in the BMW M4 GT4. We're at the Nurburgring GP layout, and this is of course RaceRoom. Straight away the sounds grab you. Those guys at Sector 3 Studios who produce all the content for RaceRoom have got an excellent sound department, and somehow they managed to transfer all those real world race car sounds into this virtual form we have. I love it. Crisped up shifts. Oh, and the popping back through the exhaust when you snap the throttle shut on throttle overrun. Brilliant, brilliant. Any other sim title, it's hard to beat the sounds of RaceRoom. Also, quick mention about the graphics. This is a DirectX 9 title, but still it looks really good. There's something about the something about the colour palette that for me, to my eye, makes this sim look very realistic. I don't know, it's the saturation, the colour levels, there's just something about it that I find incredibly appealing. But that's, you know, each to their own. I'm running this on a 1080 Ti, so I have got a lot of the eye candy on, which always helps. Right. How does the car feel? How does it handle? What's the force feedback like? Well, let's find out during this lap. Now we're going to need big old long braking distance. These GT4 cars, they're very close to their road going counterparts, so you don't have the big race car brakes that the GT3 versions of these cars would have. So there's a lot of time to be lost if you brake too late in these. They do come with ABS and traction control. I'm running the default setup, so I don't know quite how the levels are, but the car is fairly safe and fairly predictable. So I'm assuming I've got a half decent level of both turned on by default. Ooh. You can feel the understeer if you try and carry too much speed in. As the weight transfers over the front, it pushes the nose out wide. It's because you just don't have the front downforce to cope with too high a corner entry. You really don't have the downforce to carry too much weight, speed through the corners. And again, you've got to be really heavy on the brakes, lean on the ABS. Of course, in the background, yeah, you can hear good old Through Chief. I have that running because it operates the Otter HUD that you can see. Links to both will be in the description. So how's it feel curb wise? Yeah, you can feel that sawtooth curbs really rattling my AccuForce wheel. Try something a bit more hefty. Oh yeah. Yeah, you clip a curb with a bit of substance to it, a bit of height to it, and that certainly unsettles the car. Once you start getting it up near the edge though, the car does tend to float around a bit. They're quite softly sprung.
Sector 1 is quick.
And that's all coming back through the wheel. And I'm able to counteract a lot of it with some quick steering inputs. But yeah, you can feel the weight of this car as it's transferring the weight from side to side, front to back. It's all coming back through the wheel, so there's good force feedback. Done a little bit of homework about these cars and how this car is reacting in sim, and what I'm having to do to correct it is pretty similar to what you would see if you watch any video footage, including onboards. So far I'm very impressed with this RaceRoom version.
209.17, sector 3 times okay.
Understeer. But it's communicated really well through the physics engine back through the wheel. So you know that you've got to ease that throttle back a little bit, allow the front end to tuck in. Very nicely implemented. Probably should have taken some of these corners possibly in second, but that would help eliminate some of the understeer. You can also, if you're aggressive as you come into the corner on snapping the throttle off, you can definitely feel that rear end getting loose as you unsettle the car with the weight suddenly being transferred towards the front. Even before you see it, you can just feel the wheel tugging slightly in the opposite direction as that back end starts to skip about. I like that. You're getting the information physically before you see it visually, because by then it's normally too late.
2/10 off your best. Your tyre temps are looking good.
I just love the way that the car becomes unsettled over the curbs, and when you try and flick it one way then the other way quickly,
1.5, that's your quickest lap in this session.
you can feel that mass moving about. so well done in this sim, it really is. There goes the back end again, so you snap the throttle off. Rear end goes light. A little bit of dab of opposite lock. Brings the car back in line, and away you go again. It really is, it's a lovely car to drive. RaceRoom have done a cracking job on this. And of course they have quite a selection of GT4 cars now. So you can put together a really nice mix of cars to race with. Oh, coming too deep again, look, too hot. Too early on the throttle. You get the understeer, front end pushing out wide. God. Once you get a bit of speed up, those sawtooth curves really vibrate through the wheel. Brilliant, brilliant. Oh, car squirming about under braking there, right on the limit. Right, we'll bring her back into the pits this time round. Tell you what, iRacing's version has got a lot to live up to. Perhaps it should have gone first. Yeah, really enjoyed that. Looks great, sounds great, feels great. Certainly benefits from a yeah, done it. Certainly benefits from my Fanatic load cell pedals. Really helps you to judge that brake. Right, bring it into the pits, and then we'll jump out of the RaceRoom version of this car. And next time we're on track, we'll be in the iRacing version. Okay, here we are, back out on track. Again, it's the afternoon, Nurburgring GP circuit, and we are in iRacing this time. And this is their brand new BMW M4 GT4. Just came out a few days ago, along with the new Season 3 2020 build. So this is using all their latest and greatest graphics, physics, sound. So let's get out on track, see what it's all about.
Pit lane speed limit is 60 kilometers per hour.
Well, first things first, as you can see, we've got a different style dash. I think that's because this is based off of a slightly newer spec, possibly. Well, it needs to be second, doesn't it? But apart from that, all looks pretty familiar, pretty similar to the RaceRoom version. What have we got sound-wise? Woohoo! There's obviously in the default setup a lot less in the way of traction control. Yeah. It's not bad sound-wise. The engine note's nice, it's crisp. Got that rawness to it. But it doesn't appear to be that popping and banging. Oh no, there it is. Yeah. So they've got the popping and the banging through the exhaust when you come off the throttle. Good. Now again, I think they've made a step forward on their sounds now, and all new cars are coming with the new version of the sound model. I think that is definitely evident. Yeah. Yes, it certainly sounds less digital compared with some of the other cars in iRacing. Definitely sounds more raw, more real. Yep, liking the sounds. Again, they use a very pleasing colour palette in iRacing, very similar to RaceRoom. This is of course a DirectX 11 sim title. So again, to my eye, it looks very pleasing, very realistic. Of course, these are laser scan tracks compared with RaceRoom, but comparing them directly back to back, you wouldn't know. It's not glaringly obvious. So it's not a deal breaker really. Right, so what's the force feedback like in this? This is of course using the Sim Commander default profile. Certainly getting a nice bit of kickback over the curbs. You can feel the car being unsettled. It's coming back through the wheel, lovely. The back end settled down now. Obviously the tyre pressures are coming up, everything's warming up. Still using the latest version of the tyres on this, which do have cold tyre effects, so you do have to wait a lap before you can really push and try out these new cars. So again, they've got the...
That lap was at 2:13.9.
Yeah, they got the braking distances well modelled in this. You've really got to stamp on them brakes. Make sure you give yourself plenty of time to scrub the speed off. Definitely, this particular car has definitely got more understeer than the RaceRoom version. Could be the way that the default setup is, just to try and make the car safe. But that front end is definitely pushing on a lot quicker, a lot easier than the RaceRoom version. Yeah, so you're having to drop down into second lot on some of this tighter stuff to make sure you keep that nose in and get a good corner exit over the curves. And it's really it really pushes the car about. Now the big curves are well modelled, but I feel, yeah, the sawtooth curves, they're there, but they don't feel as tight. That rattle isn't the brrr that you'd expect over the sawtooth. It's a bit more like that, you know. The big curves are good. I like that. I like the way that when the car gets unsettled, you can see it and feel it. I like that, but I don't like the sawtooth curves. There just isn't that tightness of the force feedback feeling. I like the way that the car squirms and moves about under heavy braking. Back end definitely feels a bit looser. Want to try and see if I can't see how that rear end's going to react if I snap the throttle off. See if we can get that communicated through the wheel. Oh yeah, there it goes. Now the difference here is that in the RaceRoom version I could feel the rear end starting to break away before I could see it, but here the feeling of it is a lot closer to seeing it. Two things seem to happen simultaneously. I think that could make it a little harder to save, because you really need to be able to feel it before you see it, otherwise it can be too late. But we'll try another couple of corners and see how it goes. Ooh, understeer.
Sector 2 is 0.7 off your best.
Yeah, I know, Mr. Spotter. Jim. We're only in a test session. I like it. And I think it's better than the Porsche GT4, which is the only other GT4 that iRacing have got. It's more neutral. I think you could be more consistent with this than the Porsche.
13.3. You're now 0.3. Slower than your best.
Oh, that was nice. I was a little bit harsher on the initial braking there, and I could feel the ABS just cutting in slightly. That sort of funny sort of feeling. So the ABS is there, that's well modelled, that's coming through the wheel nicely. Oh. There goes that back end as soon as it goes light. But again, it's definitely, you're feeling it as you're seeing it. You need second gear a lot more as well. Feels a bit tighter, this circuit. That could be the difference between the laser scanning of it, slightly more accurate version of it. But I do like the way this car moves about. I think the way the car squirms about under braking feels more realistic, more natural in iRacing compared with RaceRoom. But oh, this is close, man. This is close. Right, let's bring her in. I certainly like the car in RaceRoom. Like the car in iRacing.
Watch your speed limit in the pits.
Yeah. Got good and bad on both sides, so you're going to have to wait for my review and final analysis and verdict. Yeah, we're not. Ah, oh, he's a fussy one, isn't he? There you go. Right. Okay. that's a few laps in iRacing with the new BMW M4 GT4. I'm going to go away, have a think, come back and give you my opinion and see if I can't pick a winner. Right. I'll see you in the wrap-up. Okay, that's it. The laps are done, the testing's done, the racing's done. It's time to pick a winner. Right. Just before I pick a winner, I want to mention the fact that I'm not taking into consideration online or offline racing, because the two sims are so different when it comes to that aspect. So that will have to be the final point in your decision-making process. For me, it's just on how it looked, sounded, and felt. So, on that basis, the winner is RaceRoom. Yeah, I'm as surprised as you. I thought iRacing, DirectX 11, brand new car out, built on all the latest and greatest technology. But as close as it was, and as good as it was, RaceRoom just pips it to the post. The force feedback was just that touch more responsive, a little bit more information. I think I was getting better feedback from the different types of curbing, and it was quicker, more responsive, allowing me to make corrections quicker and earlier, so you could save the car a lot easier. It was just a more consistent, more enjoyable driving experience. And that's why RaceRoom just pips iRacing. But it's very close, very, very close. You're going to be happy with whichever sim you race this car in. But, for me, RaceRoom just pipped it. Okay. Let me know in the comments. Do you agree with my outcome? If not, let me know why. Remember, keep it clean, keep it respectful. So all that's left for me to say is thanks for watching. Please, if you could, like and share the video. Help me get this video out to as many different people as possible. And in the meantime, remember, when you're out on track, race hard, but always race fair. See you later.